Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As what you've been witnessing over the past day is a little bit of an awakening of the altcoin market. Right now, we're in the brief window in time where I believe, like many of you believe, that we should see a quick run up in a lot of these altcoins. We see plenty of them up double-digit percentage points on the week. And a community favorite Casper has really been killing it over the past couple days. Something I want to add is, we're winding down the days before the end of this XRP case and this judge decision. And the other day, Jeremy Hogan was on the Good Morning Crypto show with the 3T Warrior Academy. And this is what he had to say about the upcoming weeks when it comes to this case.
The judge is getting 14 amicus briefs, which is kind of unheard of at this level. And they're all saying you can't rule or you shouldn't rule against Ripple. And that's a big deal. And of course, we have John's amicus brief in there as well, which is 75 or 76,000 XRP holders coming in. And remember, the reason why this is important, what John did, is because usually in these cases, the SEC is protecting the little guy, the investor, they're supposed to. And in this case, you have the little guy coming in and say, wait, we don't like what the SEC is doing. We're on Ripple's side. And so that's also really eye-opening, and it's a big deal.
And ladies and gentlemen, I want to point that out to every single one of you. All of us in this community have made an impact regarding this case. The XRP Army's voice has been heard, and we are being taken into account. We might very well have made the difference in this case when it comes to XRP in the secondary market. Remember that library ruling where the judge stated, library in the secondary market is not a security. I think that's going to play a pivotal role in the upcoming decision. And while that still is left to be determined, it is the most likely scenario. That being said, guys, we also have that Gary Gensler tomorrow is going to be called out in front of Congress. Gary Gensler has been doing his best to hide from Congress, to not be held accountable. But Patrick McHenry and Bill Huizenga have made it absolutely clear that Gary is going to have to explain himself. Oh, Gary, there's nowhere left to hide, Gary. It's been 556 days since you last testified before the Financial Committee, Gary. And here, in this document, it states, by April 17th, failure to produce the requested information could result in the committee considering using compulsory process if necessary to obtain the requested information. And this, my friends, will be the shot heard around the world. Gary Gensler being held accountable tomorrow is going to be one of my favorite things that I'm going to get popcorn ready for. It's one of those fuck the SEC moments we've all been waiting for. And I can't stress it enough. No pre-written questions by Elizabeth Warren. No softball pitching or backdoor collusion. Just straight, hard-hitting questions. And I think one of my favorite questions are going to be, why the hell did you take meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried over all the rest of the crypto industry when he was the biggest scammer in the industry? And why is FTX so important to the establishment that they're considering relaunching the damn exchange? FTX is considering relaunching. And I promise every single one of you, if FTX wasn't such a pivotal role of the money laundering arm of the establishment, there would not be such discussions. SBF would have been held accountable at a much harsher level by now. And I can't stress that enough. The corruption goes up to the highest levels. And the more you look into the FTX rabbit hole, the worse the shit stinks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in addition, Stu Olderati, Ripple's general counsel, also stated and brought this up. The SEC has lost 5 of its last 6 cases in the Supreme Court. And one of those losses just came a couple days ago. This is very important because there's a big chance the Ripple SEC case could go to the Supreme Court, specifically some parts of this case. And Stu Olderati is reminding the SEC that the SEC does not perform well in the Supreme Court, especially with the judges that are in there right now. It's highly improbable that the SEC gets a favorable ruling. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the SEC, they are power hungry. The most likely scenario in this case, in my opinion, is that we get some type of settlement after a judge decision. So then the SEC can go and attack the rest of the crypto market. That's the only thing that makes logical sense to me. And let's see if that becomes a reality. I hope for Gary Gensler's sake it does become a reality, because it's looking like Warren Davidson is looking to get him out. He states to correct a long series of abuses, I'm introducing legislation that removes the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission and replaces the role with an executive director that reports to the board where authority resides. And here, this was posted by Coinbase's chief legal officer, stating today's SEC tells entrepreneurs trying to do new things to come in and register. Then, when entrepreneurs find they can't, the commission dismisses the possibility of making practical adjustments to our registration framework to help entrepreneurs register, and instead rewards their good faith with an enforcement action. Today's SEC treats the notice and comment rulemaking process not as a conversation, but as a threat. And it's the very SEC that's a threat to the United States, our financial markets, and our growth into the future. Make no mistake about it. It's Gary Gensler that's a threat to retail investors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, as we know that the SEC is stifling innovation, it's part of the broader agenda to bring on a new global payment system. The reason is because the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, and that has afforded the United States the privilege of being the world's greatest superpower. But that privilege is going to come to an end. We get to inflate our currency into infinity and beyond, while the rest of the planet inherits debt and our currency. This is going to change, and that change is coming with a new CBDC and digital payment style system. The pivot away from the US dollar is happening internationally, the BRICS nations, with numerous other countries joining the BRICS alliance, and the United States' continued aggression and continued sanctions against the rest of the world. This cannot be ignored. And here, what you need to understand is that the entire planet is ready for the pivot away from the US dollar and into the next generation financial system. Here, not financialadvice.crypto, the creator of the outro of every single one of my videos and someone that all of you should follow, posted this clip. The director of the Better Than Cash Alliance reminds us that not only have 80 plus international organizations committed to moving to the digital payment system, including MasterCard, Coke, Target, Unilever, Clinton Global Initiative, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, but also every single government in the world. Just imagine an agenda that every government and corporation has already agreed on that fundamentally requires a new revolutionary digital payment system to succeed. And we've still got corrupt politicians and fake news anchors in the US leading the public to believe that crypto has no place in the future. It absolutely does. We've always been correct in investing in this digital asset class, but we have to choose the correct tokens. on this channel and plenty of other members in this community have uncovered exactly which cryptos those are. XRP, in my opinion, being the biggest one. And I'm here to let all of you know, don't let anyone dissuade you from owning the greatest digital asset ever created. This is the fourth industrial revolution that they don't want the United States and our citizens to be a part of. But what I'll stress to all of you is this. Buy your cryptos. Keep it off the exchanges. Put it on your hardware wallets. And welcome to the new 1%. Congratulations in advance. We're all gonna make it to the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
We have to achieve the SDGs in 10 years. I'm going to talk about that, but with a quick introduction to the Better Than Cash Alliance. We're hosted by the United Nations, and we are an alliance of governments and companies and international organizations that are each committed, each has to commit before they join the alliance to moving away from cash to some form of digital option. We've got to solve this problem. And we have to solve it because we care about achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Did you know that every single government in the world has committed to these? Every single government to agree to these. The government of Norway, the government of Australia, the government of Ethiopia, the government of Rwanda. And the timeline is 10 years from now.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, Worldwide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.